old saying of a picture is worth 1,000 words. That is no more true on, no less true on email than it is anywhere else. And we'll be covering that in a second. There's no sign off. They haven't said goodbye or said thank you for reading the message and given me a name to write off. There's no button with a call to action either. So I don't know. It says send us your requirements and we'll analyze and send me estimates accordingly. That's not really a call to action. That's a request at best. It's no button. There's nothing for me to click and say I have to go and press reply or something. And they've not included vital legal information. And that's one of the key aspects of this. So there's no address, no business number, no unsubscribe options. So let's make a better email. So this is for this company. This is something which I would have done on the first draft. And we're going to assume that I've included all the legal elements at the bottom. I want you to notice how I mention the company name. I say I'm Studio X. We're a website and app development company, Studio X. I've added in social proof. I put in a video, which is media. I've added video testimonials. You know, here are some testimonials from our clients. So I've told them who I am. I've told them that I can do one and I've proven it. This is an email to someone who I won't have met very many times, if at all. And I want to prove myself. So I've put in the video. The length is absolutely fantastic. It's 3 paragraphs long. That's maximum length really that you need for a sales email. You don't need it anymore. I've put in the personalization. Hello, David. I've just mentioned my name. That's all that was needed. I've stated what the purpose of the email is. I'm offering a discount for an app development. And I'm given value to reading the email and saying, come now, claim a discount. I'm giving them something, but taking the time out to read the email. So yes, you've read my email. Thank you so much. Here's 15% off for doing that. It doesn't have to be 15% off. It doesn't even have to be a discount, but there are some time, but by adding value, you can do a lot more. Okay. Now let's moving on to the subject line. If we go back a couple, their subject line was 2feetmarketing.com looking for a develop Android mobile apps. We've discussed how it's bad grammar, but it's not really a great subject line either. And the subject line is one of the most important aspects because before they even read your email, that is the one thing they're going to see. And 1 in 3 people will open email based on the subject line alone. Open rates for subject lines with numbers are higher by about 67%. A question mark can increase open rates by 20%. An emoji can increase an open rate by 20% as well. That's an interesting one I always find. And currency values increase open rates by up to 29%. And then using the prospect's name increases open rates to about 39%. Now you don't have to use all 6 of these in a single subject line. You can mix and match on every campaign to test to see what your audience wants, to test what works best for you, or just because it's a different email going out that week and you want to try something new. So using those previous tips, here are some subject lines that we could have said. So David, say 15% off our app development service today. See how I've done a number and I've done Dave and I've done some personalization, David, on that one. The next one, save £100 off your website development service today, David. Again, I've done 2. I've done the personalization of my name and I've done the currency sign. Looking for a new website, so I've got the question mark, 15% exclusive offer inside. The next one, the emoji of a smiley face. Your smile too when you see your new app, David. So again, within each one of these, there are 2 of those tactics, but each one is kept short and sweet in order so it displays perfectly on the screen. You know, it could be a mobile device which has a shorter screen space, so you need to keep those email subject lines shorter. But they're also straight to the point. They're telling the reader what's going to be on the inside. And then we've got the call to action. And this is an important one because this is what you want them to do. You want them to read the email and then click on that call to action. 3 core elements for every call to action. Number 1, you want to provide ownership to the reader. So it's your call to action, but it's their action. It's what they're getting. It's what they need to do. It's giving them the ownership, them the control in order when they're clicking that button. You need to create a sense of urgency. They've got to do it quickly. They've got to do it fast. Otherwise, they could miss out. That fear of missing out that we're always talking about in marketing. And then we want to give them value to taking action. So it's not about just saying, click here or, do this. You've got to give them some kind of benefit for them to click action as well. So a discount, claim your discount, get your free report, things like that. You don't want a call to action to use, send, or submit. Those two words in a call to action don't work at all. Make all call to actions more than one word. So sometimes a call to action can be just one word. It's a little bit difficult to do, but you also don't want click here and things like that shorter. So it's kind of a balancing act on that one. Next one is learn more or get started should be used rarely. They're not as effective, but sometimes they can be the right one. But you just have to kind of judge it based on each campaign. Don't guilt trip your audience. So don't make them feel like they have to because they've read your email or because they've signed up for mailing list or because a classic one is charities are constantly having to be told, don't make them feel guilty about not supporting the charity that time because it doesn't give the reader a good feeling. It kind of creates a barrier between you and your reader. And then only use one call to action per email. You want to focus all your efforts into one call to action, never more than that, because otherwise it becomes confusing what the readers should do. They're thinking, which one should I click on? It always confuses. Some additional statistics for call to action. Using just one call to action on an email can improve click rate by 371%. So that's going up 3 times, nearly 4 times as much, and sales by 1,617%. So you're talking about 16 times the amount of sales by using just one call to action. Personalized call to actions improve click-through rates by 202%. That is a big one, and getting that personalization can be quite tricky, but using programs like MailChimp and MailerLite, I believe, can actually help you to personalize every call to action to make it more applicable to the person that's actually reading the email. A red call to action button outperforms a green call to action button. And that's something I've experimented with, and we found pink also works quite interestingly. But that's because of the way that the eyes look at the buttons. Red is very prominent on a screen. It inspires action. It inspires kind of energy and activity, whereas green is quite calm and relaxing. It's like yellow doesn't do too well either. But if you can choose the button, choose red, something like that. But you can experiment and see what your audience likes. An arrow in the call to action button can increase click-through rates by 26%, and keyword optimized call to actions increase sales by 87%. So using things like development, app, things like that within your call to actions can actually help you improve the results. Now, as well as creating these emails to be perfect and optimized, we also need to ensure that sending them, we're doing it at the best time for your audience. So here are some statistics again. Tuesday is the best day to send emails. It's the day which I always send emails out. Sunday is the worst day to send emails, mostly because people aren't around, they're not reading their emails. It gets chucked in me weekend emails and people quickly go through, oh, these came in on over the weekend, which ones do I get rid of? Sending emails between 9 AM and 12 noon, 12 noon and 3 PM, and 6 AM to 9 AM are the best times, and that's respectively. So always 9 AM to 12 noon best, but it goes down there. Sending emails between 9 p.m. and midnight is half as effective as sending emails between midnight and 6 a.m. Now, that's the interesting one. Sending it at 9 p.m., if you're at 9 p.m., you might as well wait until the next day because it's just no effectiveness. And then these are the statistics of how many email marketing companies send out per week. So 12% send out an email weekly, 10% send emails twice a week, 17% are sending them out 3 or 4 times a week, and 21 are sending out daily emails. Now, there is 1 in 5 who send 2 to 3 emails per day, but I have put a notice on here that whether all the subscribers get the emails that are being sent out on some of these is debatable. There could be some segmentation, there could be some automation. The reports which I've read on that have not actually clearly identified whether it's to everyone on the email marketing list, because what some people do is that they have a marketing list for the CEOs, some for the CFO, some for the chief operation officers, and they'll send an email to each one of those, in which case then they're sending 3 emails per day, but everyone's only getting 1, which technically means they really should be falling into the daily email list. But then there are also some people who will send daily drip feeding email marketing messages as well as doing their own personal ones. So they could be sending one out every single day just for drip feed marketing, but at the same time, they're also sending out their own personalized ones. And that kind of muddies the water on how many emails they're actually sending, but it's something to think about. And it isn't just about the email, you know, thinking about personalization improves the open rates and click-through rates.